Hi there, and welcome to this episode of my YouTube channel. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the book, The Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science, Chapter 6, The Law of Growth. And a little bit on the previous chapter before we start, because I didn't complete it in the previous video, but it's about the law of growth. I was kind of like tripping out because I listened to the audio for Chapter 6, and I was reading Chapter 5, the last part of it, and it was like almost identical. So let's get right to it. Here's a quote that I wanted to share, okay? Because this is the main message that Thomas Troward wanted to give us at the end of this chapter 5, which is further considerations on the further considerations regarding subjective and objective mind. And here's the quote that I want to share. This is according to the strictly scientific conception of the universal law of growth. And we may therefore briefly sum up the whole argument by saying that our thought of anything forms a spiritual prototype of it, thus constituting a nucleus or center of attraction for all conditions necessary to its eventual externalization by a law of growth inherent in the prototype itself. Now, he's talking about how a thought, due to a theory of little spiral vortexes that are just theory from people who study the sciences, and physics. This is a theory that there's little thin spirals that are non-physical, but when they attract multiple spirals, they become something physical that we can see, such as atoms. Okay. Now, I am feeling better because the last time I mentioned that I got a little sick last week, and I was still kind of holding on to something. But I feel better today, way better than the days previously. And I think it's because I slept and I was able to relax. So relaxation is a very, 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 very big part of this video. So keep relaxation in your mind. So chapter 6 is about the law of growth. And the law of growth is both non-physical and physical. Okay, we must believe in the physical, obviously. If we believe in the physical, we must believe in the non-physical, because there's non-physical things that we experience, such as atoms and energy. We don't see them, but they're there. Okay, so audio is also a form. I'm adding this. Thomas Short doesn't talk about audio or 5G, Wi-Fi, but it's non-physical, but it exists. Okay, and here's a quote that I want to share on chapter 6. Okay, I'm gonna go straight through them. There's 2 of them. Okay. And back to the law of growth, when there's something physical like a embryo, it attracts energy until it's fully manifested into something larger. It has a purpose. And that's through the law of growth. Okay, it attracts everything through the law of growth. An embryo inside of a woman in the womb attracts everything. That's how an idea attracts everything for its conception. So the law of growth operates through non-physical and the physical, because we see it in nature and we see it in non-physical things in nature. So in the spiritual prototype, a thought also attracts such things. Law of attraction. Okay, the law of attraction is a result of the law of growth, according to Thomas Troward. The law of attraction is a consequence of the law of growth. You have a thought, or you have an embryo, and it attracts all the resources for it to manifest. Okay. So the law of attraction is the result of the law of growth. Okay, here we go. Quote, its efficacy is in helping to keep out those negative thoughts of doubt which would plant tares among our wheat, and therefore, instead of anything of effort, such contemplation should be accompanied by a feeling of pleasure and restfulness in foreseeing the certain accomplishment of our desires. This is that making our requests known to God with thanksgiving, which St. Paul recommends. And it has its reason in that perfect wholeness of the law of being, which only needs our recognition of it to be used by us to any extent we wish. So the law of being, just you being, the power of awareness, Neville Goddard, you just being aware and intelligent allows you, affords you your God-given right to create these images. And knowing your power, your law of being, should make you feel pleasure and restfulness, not anxiety, not worry, not effort. Why? Because we don't put the vitality in the seed. Just like when you put a seed in nature, we don't yell at it and it grows. It's gonna grow. You just tend to it with concentration. Okay, you tend to it with concentration. You tend to it when it's a physical seed with soil, proper soil, manure for fertilizer, water, adequate sun. Okay, but with us is remove negative thoughts. Okay. Feel pleasure of already having it, and restfulness of foreseeing the certain accomplishment of our desires. You're foreseeing it. It's being like psychic, knowing the future. So you walk like you have it already. Because you do in the spiritual prototype, in the non-physical. Hey, Mashi, no. Shh. No. He got excited because I have my gym bag open, so he's over here smelling all the stuff in there. Leave it alone, Mashi. Let me get my cough drops. There. I don't want to be coughing on this show, this episode. No, go over there. So let's go on to the next quote, because it's very important. Okay, there's a reason why I'm sharing this. And it's to go over it. It'll help us with the chapter. It's only 2 pages. This chapter's only 2 pages, very short. To use the apostolic words, we are dealing with the substance of things not seen. And we have to attain that habit of mind by which we shall see its reality and feel that we are mentally manipulating the only substance there ultimately is, and of which all visible things are only different modes. We must therefore regard our mental creations as spiritual realities, and then implicitly trust the law of growth to do the rest. Okay? That's it. Must have faith in the operation of spirit, or if you want to call it the law of growth. The law of growth is more scientific, because we see it in embryos, we see it in seeds, physical seeds, we see it in theories of scientists. Okay, scientists have these theories of vortex rings that maybe these are non-physical, so they're indestructible, they last forever, and when they attract each other, like attracts like, they form something bigger, something that we can see. Okay. Law of growth. We see it, it's natural. And scientists already think about it as something that happens when things are yet to become physical. Marcy, here. Go get it. Go get it behind you. Behind you. And there's something I want to share about this vortex ring shit. It's not really what Thomas Troward is talking about. He just says it so you can understand it. Okay. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Let me know. Comment below. It should be very self-explanatory. The law of growth. And then resting on that understanding of the law of growth and allowing the law of attraction to attract the resources needed for you to manifest such things. Marcy. Okay. Be relaxed, be chill. Remember I said in the beginning of this video that you need to be chill? Relaxed, relaxed. I remember one time I was visualizing on my bed. Actually, I did lay down for this one. I laid it down and I was visualizing money in my bank account, a certain amount of money. And I received a client for that amount of money. Like, hey, are you still training? I'm like, yeah, still training. Okay, let me pay you and teach me how to work out. Like, okay, cool. And I was like, fuck. And I just went straight to work. You know, I received the money and started working. You know, started training with this person. It was actually a family member, it's a cousin of mine. And yeah. But I was super relaxed when I was visualizing. I just laid down flat and I saw that amount of money in my bank account. I visualized how, you know, your bank account looks like, and I visualized that money and it bang happened. So see this as something that's already done. It's in the spiritual realm. It's a spiritual prototype. Okay. And through the law of growth, because it is a mental seed, it's a non-physical seed, will bring everything to you through the law of attraction. Okay. You'll have hunches, or it'll just come straight to you. Be relaxed. Be cheerful. Okay. Be super relaxed. The more relaxed, the more cheerful, the more pleasure. Feel pleasure. Feel the pleasure of having it already. How would you feel? Okay. Let's go over a little bit on what he says, all right? Because that's why I quoted him there. Because that's what you got to do. Okay. Okay, like to manifest, the variable factor is not the law, but our own volition, our will. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. And it is by combining this variable factor with the invariable one that we can produce the various results we desire. The invariable one is the absolute mind, okay? The subconscious mind. You have a subconscious mind, the universal mind is subconscious as well. Your subconscious mind is a piece of the universal mind, okay? But your individual mind has conscious, subconscious. You can see and feel in the relative, in the physical, and you can also go into the subconscious and go into where the spirit is at, or the mental plane is at, and create the spiritual prototype of what you desire and allow the growth to manifest it, okay, with the law of attraction as well. The principle of growth is that of inherent vitality in the seed itself. Again, the principle of growth is that of inherent vitality in the seed itself, and the operations of the gardener have their exact analog in mental science. We do not put the self-expansive vitality into the seed, but we must sow it. And we may also, so to speak, water it by quiet, concentrated contemplation of our desire as an actually accomplished fact. But we must carefully remove from such contemplation an idea of strenuous effort on our part to make the seed grow. Its efficacy is in helping to keep out those negative thoughts of doubt, which would plant tares among our wheat. And therefore, instead of anything of effort, such contemplation should be accompanied by a feeling of pleasure and restfulness in foreseeing the certain accomplishment of our desires. Again, instead of anything of effort, Such contemplation should be accompanied by a feeling of pleasure and restfulness in foreseeing the certain accomplishment of our desires. This is that making our request known to God with thanksgiving, which St. Paul recommends, and it has its reason in that perfect wholeness of the law of being, which only needs our recognition of it to be used by us to any extent we wish. Okay, so we don't need to be doubtful. We don't need to be like forcing come on, universe, hurry up. No, know that the law of growth is doing its job. It's operating, because we don't put the vitality in the seed. It's in operation. We just are the gardeners. We tend to that idea, just like we tend to a seed that we're planting in the physical realm. Okay, now we're planting in the spiritual realm so that we can manifest from thought. Okay, so we can create results from thought. Okay, so let's just feel pleasure. Okay, and restfulness in foreseeing a certain accomplishment, because we know that we have foreseen the accomplishment. We have it already. It is accomplished in our mind, which is the spiritual plane where there's no time and space, no limitation. We have it now. This is very important right here. I said, we do not put the self-expansive vitality into the seed, but we must sow it. And we may also, so to speak, water it by quiet, concentrated contemplation of our desire as an actually accomplished fact. Accomplished fact in the spiritual plane. And allow the law of growth to bring it into physical fruition. Okay, through the law of attraction. And this is what I wanted to talk about earlier, which was the combination of the vortex readings. Okay, these are what scientists are talking about. Okay, this was in the early 1900s, because this book was written in the early 1900s. Scientists back then were saying, how are these vortex readings coming together? Or how is this non-physical shit coming together with, coming together to make solid stuff? Because we know there's non-physical stuff, so there has to be some non-physical stuff making it happen, or bringing it together, bringing everything together. They just called it will. Will is part of a mind. For there to be will, there must be a mind behind it. So mind is creating this. Intelligence is creating this. There's a book called My Big Toe. I think by Campbell. I forget his first name. I think it's Richard Campbell. He says that like people are so stuck in the physical. These fucking stupid ass scientists, they're so stuck in the physical they can't conceive concepts of non-physicalness. Like they can't, even though there's radio waves, there's gamma rays from the sun, there's what's called Wi-Fi waves. Even a concept of a thought is a non-physical thing. Okay, a thought is a theory is a non-physical thing, especially if it hasn't been proven yet. It's a thought. Okay, these motherfuckers are so fucking stupid, so fucking stuck. They're like bots because they can't think for themselves and really just like contemplate shit. That they're stuck in the hard sciences, even though it's a science where there is also non-physical contemplation. They can't fathom it. They just throw it away. They just throw this stuff away. But there are quantum physicists now who are like this guy who wrote My Big Toe, My Big Theory of Everything, who really got it, who really put all this stuff together. Thomas Troward. He's not a scientist, but he is an academic because you need to be very educated. I'm very educated, although I do use curse language because I feel like it connects to you. This is YouTube. This is about being real. This is not about welcome to my classroom, guys. Today we're going to study the book, The Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science. And we are going to critique him through the other authors that we've been studying before. Is what he's saying true? give your argument. Make sure you cite your sources. Nah, fuck that. We're here to fucking make our dreams a reality. And this is a way to make those dreams a reality. Understanding how the laws of the universe work, the laws of the mind work, because they're one and the same thing. There's a certain will that pulls everything together. And will is a mind. Okay. And I'll leave it at that. I hope you like this one. Until next time. If you have any questions, comment below. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. If you want to work with me, click the Calendly link and I'll text you. If you have iPhone, then we'll do, what are those called? Those camera FaceTime. If you don't, then we'll do Zoom. And I'll see you on the other side. Take care. Peace.